101, State of Ohio versus Douglas Neal. Mr. Neal is appearing from the jail by video. Officer Balzer from the probation department is also present. Mr. Neal was put on for community control back December 20th, 2019. At that time, it was under APA jurisdiction, and then in January 20, it was transferred over to the Huntington County Probation Department. There was a notification filed by Mr. Balzer this morning. Mr. Neal, that alleges that you have violated those conditions. It alleges that you violated Rule 2 in that you failed to report to probation since January 13 of 2021. Rule 15, that you failed to pay your court costs of $283.50 and have made no payment since you were put on community control. And then Rule 20 is that you failed to provide proof of enrolling and completing your treatment. I believe it was SUD, a substance use disorder, as well as mental health treatment at FRS at that time. Now, your conviction is for a 5th-degree felony, which carries a possible prison term between 6 and 12 months, fine of up to $2,500, and a possible license suspension 6 months and 5 years. You're entitled to have a hearing on this matter, and in the event that the hearing proves that you have failed to comply, then I do one of 3 things. I can continue your community control under the same conditions that I originally ordered. I can continue with additional conditions that I think are appropriate, including extending your community control down to 5 years. And the third, the most serious result is I could terminate you from community control and sentence you to prison for between 6 and 12 months, fine you $2,500. Now, you're entitled to have a hearing in this matter, and the court usually will set this out for about 10 to 14 days, give you time to prepare for the hearing. You're entitled to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, just like the state. The prosecutor will present the case for the state. You are entitled to have an attorney to represent you and to advise you on this matter and assist you in presenting your defense and advocating for you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, the court will appoint one for you at no cost. Now, I don't have a financial disclosure form from you, Mr. Neal. Are you requesting the appointment of counsel to represent you? I can't hear you.
No.
Are you intending to hire your own attorney, or are you going to proceed without counsel in this matter?
Proceed without.
Okay, now, do you understand that if you can't afford to hire an attorney, the court will appoint one for you?
Yes, I do.
And if you don't have an attorney, then you will have to make your own decisions on how to respond to these allegations and to represent yourself in the hearing. You understand that? You understand the possible consequences of the outcome of this hearing could include you going to prison for between 6 and 12 months, 12 being fined $2,500.
Yes, I do.
Has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything to get you to waive or give up the right to have an attorney this morning?
No.
All right. Well, if you want to give up your right to waive counsel, I need to have you sign a form. Is the deputy still in the room there with you?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a form there for waiver of counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you would put his name on it is the way it appears in the case is Douglas Edward Neal, N-E-A-L. And the case is 19 CR 101.
Already got it. Okay.
All right. Now there's a form there that she has. It's called waiver of counsel, Mr. Neal. What a waiver of counsel is a waiver means to give up in legal terms. And so the form there will read I, and then there's a blank space, and she'll put your name in there, Douglas Edward Neal. The defendant herein, being now in open court, fully understand that the laws of the state have a right to legal representation. I do hereby permanently waive my right to be represented by counsel. So if you're willing to give up the right to have an attorney, you have to sign that, and we have to file that with the court file so that there's evidence that you did that. So are you seeing that form right there in front of you?
Yes, I am.
All right. If you want to give up the right to have an attorney, you have to sign it there on the line above where it says, or under which it says the signature defendant. Okay. All right. She's holding it up there for me, so that's your signature form. You just signed it, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you understand, Mr. Neal, that means you're waiving or giving up the right to have an attorney?
Yes, I do.
All right. And deputy, if you would send that up to the courthouse and file the original with they bring documents up here, to the clerk's
Okay.
office. Appreciate it. All right, Mr. Neal, the next step in the process then is for you to either admit or deny the allegations. If you deny the allegations, that means that you're requesting a hearing to require the state to prove those allegations, present evidence on your own behalf. If you admit to the violations, that means that you're admitting that what's alleged in there is true and that they are violations. And if you do that, then the next step will be for the court to make a decision as to what disposition to make of your case. Now, do you have any questions about that or what either of those things mean?
I don't.
And you understand the allegations against you?
Yes, I do.
And you understand the possible consequences if you admit to the violations?
Yes.
All right, do you have any questions about anything I've explained to you here this morning?
There you go.
All right, and do you admit or deny the allegations that were filed here this morning alleging that you violated your community control entry of December 19, 2019?
I admit.
All right. Okay, so, Mr. Balzer, was he reporting, he did report for about a year then, apparently?
He did, Your Honor. I tried very hard to get a hold of Doug. I really wanted this to work out. I do think going forward, we can probably work together and try to get through this. He has a lot of health issues. But I'm certainly not against continuing him on community control.
All right, now Mr. Neal, did you ever complete your treatment at FRS or did you just quit on?
Yes, I did. I do have the documentation.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether I gave it to Drew or not.
When was the last time you were out there?
It was probably in January or February.
At FRS?
Yes.
And did they give you a certificate of completion or anything like that?
Yes, I did. It was screwed up though because I asked to continue going on my own behalf, and my counselor actually, she ended up in jail for DUI and all kinds of things herself. So
Oh, okay. All right.
that's
What you're going to need to do is sign a release information for Mr. Balzer to get that information from FRS. Mr. Balzer, you have any suggestions on any additional conditions if I continue in on community control?
I don't, Your Honor. Looks like his expiration date would be December of 2022.
Okay. Where are you going? Where are you living, Mr. Neal?
I'm still living at the same address, but the reason he couldn't get a hold of me at the time is
What is the address?
125 South Glen.
Okay, because on the Capias it said not a good address.
Well, I kind of split between two addresses. That's my girlfriend's address, and I have address 63 Belfast Pike. That's my apartment.
Where,
Belfast
Pike or the South Line?
Belfast Pike is my apartment, yes.
Do you still have that apartment?
Yes, but I'm there by myself.
Okay, and you gave that address to Mr. Balzer? You have that, Mr. Balzer?
I had, his primary address was on Glen Street. That's what our office had.
Okay. So
That's
you're
correct.
living at 125 Glen Street.
Yes,
So
that's
if your girlfriend had problems, then your address is what? Belfast.
63 Belfast, yes.
Is that a house or apartment?
Apartment,
Belfast Pike, 52 Belfast Pike is our apartment
Yes.
number?
63 Belfast Pike,
Oh, 63. What's the apartment number?
A.
Apartment A. All right,
Yes.
you get that, Mr. Balzer?
Yes.
All right. All right, I'm going to continue you on community control. When you go ahead and order you to be released, you report immediately to Mr. Balzer this morning. And you sign that release of information. And if they think that you need to be seen again, or if he sends you back for any further evaluation for mental health or substance use treatment, you're going to need to do that. So you need to make sure you comply with these conditions. You've got another year and a half or so. If you hadn't done this, you might have even gotten off sometime this year. But now with that happening, it's not going to happen. So you need to get back on the beat. You have any questions?
No, I just want to say, it wasn't intentional. I mean, medications they've got me on that one. My memory all screwed up.
Well, you need to stay on your, you need to comply with your medical treatment, what that is, and make sure that you keep Mr. Bolser informed.
Right.
And, if you have a phone, or if you're where you're supposed to be, they can find you if you forget. So that's what's got you in this mess.